Evening, people of the world. Gavin here from Western Australia with a brand new eflite v1200. What a pocket rocket this thing is. Well, actually it's a bit more than a pocket rocket, unlike that little thing over there. This thing is ginormous. Quite a bit bigger than its predecessor. This aeroplane is absolutely magic. The finishing on it is very good for a foam model. Not a mark in it. And the foam is super dense. Very hard feeling, I suppose. Almost like a composite model, like they say. Very, very close. It is still foam. You still can mark it if you're not careful. Like with a screwdriver or something, if you drop your screwdriver on it, the point is still going to make a mark, or if you lean it on a corner of a table or something like a sharp edge, it's still going to mark. But it is a new breed of foam, and it is a lot better than the old foam stuff, you know. Well, it's I hope they keep doing the new foam like this in all future models. Yeah, it would be good. Initial impressions when I got it out of the box, I was absolutely blown away. Not only by the finish, but by the weight of the model. This is not light. When I had a look at the wings, I was impressed, but when I actually got the fuselage out, the weight in the front here was just awesome. It's not a light model by any means, but it's not a super heavy model either. It's a nice medium. It has got a whopping great motor in it. It's got a 5065 motor, 800 kV on 22 volt. With a very, very nice aluminium spinner, 10x8 APC propeller. It's got the Spectrum Avian speed controller in it with a Spectrum A637 telemetry receiver, and Spectrum digital servos throughout. I think they're 9-gram servos. Yeah, very impressed with this model. It cost $749 Australian, so it's not a cheap model by any means. But you are paying not just for the model, but all this new telemetry stuff that's in it. That's not cheap either. So I don't think it's too badly priced, to be honest. It is a little steep, but with what I've just said, with what you get, especially if you run something like myself, like an IX12 or a DX9, you get that full telemetry system, which is absolutely brilliant. You can see how many amps you draw, and you can see propeller RPM. There's literally, you can see everything. It's brilliant with that new Spectrum Avian speed control. This is a very, very nice plane. I haven't got much bad things to say about it at the moment. I look forward to flying it, which will probably be tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, I just got to do some touch-ups. One thing I did do, because most of you people would have seen RC Informer's video on this by now, this hatch design, the way they've done it with the magnets, makes it very, very hard to get off. And the foam is nice and strong, but the amount of force required to get this hatch off was just ridiculous. But it is a good thing because it is a fast model. But to make it easier to get off so you're not squeezing the shit out of everything, was I added a piece of tape. As you can see, it's that reinforced tape, and that goes around, back up and under, and back up the inside and up inside the top of the canopy, so it's got plenty of grip, so you don't have to worry about ripping the tape out and the canopy staying on the model, because this is very hard to get off. But yeah, once you get it off, it's alright. What else should I say about it? I haven't really got a bad thing to say about it at the moment. It's a beautiful looking model. Here's the little guy. Give me a second. Oops. See if I can grab this little guy a bit better. Hang on. give you sort of a size. It's pretty hard doing it by myself. The V900 is considerably smaller. It's a bit hard doing it by myself. I need someone else to help. But anyway, yeah, the V900 is substantially smaller. But yeah, my float plane. The old Bushmole, brilliant. Pre-wing F14. Ultimate. Sukhoi. My turbine that I built. Very happy with that. Some of my helicopters. More helicopters in my room. Little Extreme Flight Extra. AJ Raven, 92 inch. There is another plane that lives there that's currently in my car loaded up for tomorrow. That's a Pilot Yak 54 and the Comp ARF Yak 55. But yeah, at this stage, guys, this V900 is absolutely brilliant. If you can get one, I would suggest grabbing one if this is your sort of plane, if you like speed. Just picking some rubbish up, sorry about that, not the best camera work I know. If you're looking for speed, definitely something like this. See, you can't get the little V900 anymore. I just hope they keep making this one for a while and don't do like they normally do and discontinue it after a year. Yeah, I have made another video, but I will touch base on that again. When I got mine out of the box, when these covers was hanging off and the servo was dangling free, so I've just put the servo back in and glued the cover back on. So that's all good. And checked the others, but the others are. I did have another one that was loose, but I fixed that. Yeah, everything else is sweet on the model. Props balanced, spinner's balanced. I've run it up to about 3/4 throttle, and it's smooth as. Plenty of power, moves a shit ton of air, if you don't mind me saying, on 22 volts. Yeah, what else can I say about it? It's got flaps, all set up by the book. As for the book, the book didn't really say about like percentages and things like that, like for dual rates, you know, your ailerons it says 100% and 70% for low rates, and vice versa, 100% 70, 100% 70. It the book for the just gives you a millimetre movement. I ended up going 100 up to bring them to the full up position, 0 as my mid flap, and then 50 minus 50 for my full flap, and that's where my setup is, and I'm going to try it as it is and see what I think, whether it needs more flap or less flap. But there is no flap to elevate a mix. I haven't done any of that yet. We'll do that as I fly it. But quite a hot looking little model. I won't try that one-handed. Even though I've got the tape on there, I still need two hands to do this, one to hold the plane and one to pull on that. So, yeah, I won't show you the inside, but I'll give you one more close-up look. You can see the finish on this plane. That's all sticker, so naturally that's going to look really, really good. And now it's back to foam. As you can see how smooth it is. That's the only mark in it. That one there. I think I can live with that. That is all plastic. Massive honking motor in there. As you see, guys, I'm giving you a real close-up on high definition for my phone. So it gives you a real good idea of what to expect out of this new model. eflite, if you watch this video, I hope you keep up this sort of quality, because it's really, really good. And I hope you continue this sort of foam on future models forget that old soft stuff. We don't want that soft stuff that dings and dents easily anymore. We want this more rigid stuff. This is what we want. If foam models become like this, balsa wood and that, mate, it's done. This is absolutely incredible. I'm not biased or anything like that. I like my free-wing planes as much as I do everything else. But as for a foamy, I reckon this is the best I've ever seen so far. Yeah, everything usually has a bloody dogs. Everything usually has marks in it of some description, but this one, no, just that teeny weeny little one there on the canopy. Alright guys, that's my little take on it. It's 10 minutes of blabbling basically, but if you want one, I highly recommend you get one while they're in stock.